What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bills Chat Halftime Show. I am Josh McCarty. The Bills lead the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 20-13. What a wild first half this is. First of all, right out of the gate, I want to apologize if the lighting is a little bit poor. We're down a couple plugs because we had some basement flooding and we got some things plugged in here, dehumidifiers, all that. You don't need to hear about that. What a money drive by the Bills at the end of the half. Just an absolute money drive. The way this half was going, with the Bills up 10-0, and Joe Flacco looking like he can't get out of his own way, and then the sequence of events where it is 10-3 Bills, Josh Allen misses a wide open Dalton Kincaid that would have been a touchdown. And then on the next play, their incomplete pass to Curtis Samuel, great play by the defender. And then the Colts go down and score to tie it up. And then the Bills' next possession, Josh Allen with one of the worst interceptions you'll see out of this fully formed Josh Allen. I don't know what he was looking at. It was either a bad ball or he just locked into Khalil Shakir. And then the Colts go down and get a field goal. And then the next play, Brandon Codrington fumbles the kickoff return. But Alec Anderson, man, everybody on the Bills, buy this man beers after the game because Alec Anderson kept this game from avalanching. Bills go down and get the touchdown drive with Josh Allen running it in. Bills lose Kincaid to a knee injury. And then the Bills get the ball back with 30 seconds or so to go here in the first. There's like a minute left, but this drive's not going anywhere. You get to a second down. The Bills go out of bounds with Ty Johnson to a third down, but the ref is winding the clock, and Shane Steichen calls a timeout. And I'm going to be honest with you all. Like, I try not to be after the fact, hindsight 2020 guy. When Shane Steichen called that timeout, my initial thought was thank you. Because you still don't hate the spot that you're in. It's about 30 seconds left. The Bills have 2 timeouts in their pocket. But when the referee winds that clock, you think that the Bills are going to have to burn one of their timeouts. And now you're really looking at an uphill climb to get into field goal range. Shane Steichen calls the timeout. Ultimately, though, that timeout is not the reason why the Bills were able to get the field goal off, because on another third down, Josh Allen with an incredible escape to the right, launched downfield to Mac Hollins, who makes, I don't even want to exaggerate, one of the best catch to awareness after the catch plays I think I've seen in a long time. He slides to catch the ball in the middle of the field, and then in one freakish, are you even a human like the rest of us, Zay Jones kind of moment, he slides right up to his feet and outruns NFL athletes to the sideline, going from kneeling on the ground to running. An amazing play. And then, the Bills, I thought that the Bills then, with 8 seconds left, would use that opportunity to maybe hand it to Ray Davis up the middle, get like 5 more yards on the field goal. They didn't. Josh Allen just dropped back, didn't see anything he liked, threw the ball away. And then Tyler Bass with the money kick to put the Bills up 20-3 going into half. So here's the situation we're in. There's one argument you could make, that you could say that the Bills should be up by multiple scores. And you can make that argument. There's certainly a sequence where Josh Allen throws the ball deep to Kincaid, misses it. The Colts get a touchdown. Josh Allen throws a bad interception. The other argument you could make is that the Bills have been kind of fortunate in some instances. That play by Austin Johnson, I mean, you see that get knocked down, but how often do you see that be intercepted? You could say that falling on the fumble on the kickoff return was fortunate, and then barely having enough time at the end of the half by a misstep by the Colts, I think, was fortunate. So all in all, you have to like the spot that the Bills are in. It wasn't a good Josh Allen half. Let's talk about this, although he did kind of redeem himself late. 13 of 23, 188 yards, 1 interception, and he has the 1 rushing touchdown. James Cook, 8 carries for 39 yards. Ray Davis, only 1 carry for 4 yards. Ready to see more Ray Davis. This is no knock against James Cook, but I just want to see Ray Davis a bigger part of these game plans going forward. What have we talked about with Ray Davis? He never gets cheated out of yards. If there is a yard or two to squeeze out of the play, he squeezes it out of the play. The other thing I'll say, right now, between Ryan Kelly going on IR at the beginning of the week, and is it Bernard Raymond who got injured early in the game? And now they have a backup there. There's 3 backups playing on the Colts offensive line. That needs to be a bigger story in this game in the second half. It really hasn't been a big story in the first half. Jonathan Taylor, 16 carries for 107 yards. God, Jonathan Taylor haunts so many of us Bills fans. Joe Flacco really hasn't done too much. He had the one big drive, but really, it's been all Josh Downs in the passing game. Josh Allen got sacked one time because of a bad handoff sequence, but this game is there for the taking. And when you look at the situation the Bills are in, let's big picture this, even though it's a halftime show. Keon Coleman, I think at this point in time, you have to assume is out through the bye. Whatever source you want to go to, it does not sound like Keon Coleman is going to be back next week. It certainly doesn't. Sean McDermott deemed him week to week and maybe more than that. At this point, you have to wonder about Amari Cooper. He's now missed 2 games, and it didn't feel like he was particularly close to this game. So you have the Chiefs coming up next week, who are, by the way, losing to the Broncos today, 14-10. That game is still in the, it's in the third quarter. That one's cruising along. But now you lose Dalton Kincaid to a knee injury. I haven't seen whether he's going to return. All I saw is he's questionable. So you're looking at a situation where, the Bills are going to be down some weapons against the Chiefs. How many? It looks like you could have a realistic situation where the Bills are down Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper and Dalton Kincaid next week. It's not the end of the world, folks. I've been harping this on Twitter. If you follow us on Twitter, I appreciate it. Bills Chat Pod. Let's see what Jordan has to say here. I think a 12-year-old could run for a first down against the Bills. Jordan, you're not wrong today. This game against the Chiefs games always feel massive. Okay. They always feel massive. And I get it. I absolutely get it. I hate the Chiefs. I live in the Midwest, by the way. For those that don't know, I live in St. Louis. I'm surrounded by Chiefs fans. So I hate the Chiefs even just like a little bit extra than just the natural Bills fan tired of the Chiefs thing. But we have to remember the context of next week. It's a November 17th football game. We don't want to rush Amari Cooper back, Keon Coleman back, Dalton Kincaid back if these guys are not ready to roll. The bigger picture here is this team has got to be as healthy as possible in the playoffs, because when this team is fully formed, and we haven't seen much of it this year, they can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And what we saw last year in the playoffs against the Chiefs at home, and we saw the year before against the Bengals, was a Bills roster that was completely undermanned. That was one of the reasons why they lost those games. Last year, the Bills are pulling A.J. Klein off the street. Rasul Douglas is hurt in that game. Christian Benford can't play in the game. When you look at the Chiefs at the Bengals game the year before, the Bills were down to you and me at defensive line. So I understand the urgency to beat the Chiefs next week. I will doubly understand it if the Chiefs go on to lose today to the Broncos and the Bills close the deal today in Indy, because next week could be for first place in the AFC. And that's massive. Location of a game and bye week does not supersede health. And this is a Bills team that has run out of gas the last 2 years. Would they have won the Super Bowl otherwise? I don't know. How could you? But a big story to their season's ending has been running out of health. So I realize it feels like the sky is falling, because it feels like it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back with all these injuries. But understand what's really at stake here, and understand the great position the Bills are in. They have a 4-game lead in their division. They have a bye week in 2 weeks. They have the ability to lick their wounds, get healthy, rest up, and make a strong run in the second half. Because yes, the Chiefs game is looming next week, but after the bye, it doesn't get much easier. You have the 49ers, the Lions, the Rams, tough game after tough game. So it's important that the Bills find a way to get this game to the garage today somehow, some way. I do want to mention something else. Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel has been a very negative story for the Bills this year. We all know, $24 million guaranteed. I'm sorry, $16 million guaranteed, $24 million contract. has not made plays. Today, he's made plays. 3 for 36. I think you could make the argument that today he's been the Bill until the last drive, until the last drive when Mac Hollins went like nuclear. He's been the Bills' best weapon in the passing game. But 7-point lead, defense needs to come out, force a punt, and the offense needs to find a way to get this lead to 2 scores again. And then let's have these Colts go back to doubting themselves. Definitely a different look offense without Cooper and Coleman. I mean, Roy, absolutely, man. Like, think about what the Bucs look like without Evans and Godwin. Think about what the Seahawks would look like if you took away DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Think about what the Bengals would look like if you took away Higgins and Chase. 1, you can kind of overcome, but 2 is tough. And then we all think, well, maybe it's a Kincaid game, and now Kincaid's out. Credit to Dawson Knox. What a massive catch on Josh Allen's touchdown run drive that he made over the shoulder. Great throw by Allen. So the Bills need to limit their mistakes. No more turnovers. Let's force Joe Flacco to beat you. You have to find a way to expose this undermanned offensive line by the Colts. Get this game to the win column. Get to 8-2. And then after that, we'll figure out what's going on with the health of this roster. But we all need to keep in mind, as big of a deal as we're going to make out of this Chiefs game next week, and I will be right there in the front of the line. There's a bye week in 2 weeks. This team desperately needs a bye week at this point. No more injuries. Get this win. Settle it down. They seem like they settled it down going into half. Go Bills. I'll be back with Luca tomorrow, who's at the game right now, by the way. We're recording Bills Chat podcast tonight, Bills Colts post-game show. And then I'll be back next week at halftime with a Bills Chiefs halftime show. I will talk to you all next week on the Bills Chat halftime show.